Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this month Village Life podcast. People from the villages, village people. uh, we're growing up. It's been quite a month, and the last time I was talking about Bashar's formula, and for those who don't know who Bashar is, it's basically Darl Anka. It's a person, and he's a channeler, and for 40 years he's channeling this entity from another dimension. It's like it's giving us a manual for humanity. um, and there are like kind of basic 5 steps to this thinking or understanding of our lives by that entity. And it's like follow your excitement, and then you follow up some more until it doesn't excite you anymore. When it comes to excitement, it means not just like, oh, when you're excited, but like when you genuinely feel like, okay, I should actually do this. I rather do this moment, like just for a little bit more than the other thing. So we go with what we really feel driven to the most or attracted to the most. Um, then I think the third step or so is to not have any attachments, to have no attachments, to have no assumptions, make no assumptions for the outcome. So basically, it's like you put it out there in the universe, and then you let go, which for me is the hardest part, I think, since I'm still learning how to do those things, even though I'm practicing it for years now. Still, there's always more expansion, right? Also, I think the next step is we try to still stay in a positive state when it comes to everyday life anyway, but basically when we're manifesting, or excuse me, we are manifesting all the time anyway. It's just like, are we doing it consciously or subconsciously is the question. But yeah, check it out. I will put the link to this formula. It's really something that kind of confirmed my explorations, my energetic understanding of life, and it kind of helps me with serenity, to trust the universe, and the process. And these few months, it was definitely, it seems like, as I'm talking with people and observing my own self, my experience, it's very, they're transformative times. And it's so easy to get hard on ourselves. And for me, it was really hard to accept, like, maybe I don't have to work that much. Although being in LA, like, it's kind of, you feel that pressure all the time. But like, every time I was able to step back and try to just calm down, go in my inner self, it's definitely very, very transformative. And it helps me with my self-awareness more. But yeah, and so while I was doing that this last week, it was really, or maybe a little bit longer ago, it was really crazy how, especially with we're village people. That probably means you didn't grow up in like a very upscale situation. We we had, like, for example, we made all our own food. We could afford to go for, like, we had holidays. It was totally kind of middle class situation for me, but still mentality of my uh, ancestors, my parents, my grandparents is definitely always like not having enough. And that's why then later on, when my grandparents were in their 60s, for example, or 50s, 60s, um, there was always too much food on the table because they had a lack of that in their childhood, and my parents took that over. So I took that over. I always cook way too much. Like, I like it though. So it's not that I'm gonna be mad at myself. I embrace it, and it's fun, and I love cooking. But I just do a little. Like, I cook sometimes for, instead of like my own self or two or three people, I will do it for 8 people. uh, but I think I have a different experience. Like, I'm aware of that, and it's okay. I can enjoy it. It brings me joy and kind of memories of home, and it brings me good feelings, good vibrations. Uh, but yeah, if I go back to how do I sorry, what did I figured out to that through that mentality, I wasn't feeling worthy of things, um, because probably my parents weren't feeling worthy, my grandparents weren't feeling worthy because we were not rich. I mean, there is like a big financial or material frequency there that is just like blocked, and it carries a lot of resistance and feeling like, we're farmers, and if someone is a doctor, my parents would speak differently towards them. And just so I'm not judging anybody here. It's just my observations. We're trying to learn from those things, right? It's observing ourselves and being brutally honest about stuff, like, and that's why it's please try not to judge yourself for anything, like, this. And I needed to remind myself of that while figuring out that, okay, because I don't have maybe as much money as my parents would expect from me, or my family would expect from me, I didn't feel worthy. You're worthy as much. If you have a lot of money, you're worthy. You're worthy. Your worth is like, is real. I know it's quite sad, but that I thought that I was thinking that way, but also it's okay. Like, it's really normal. I think that um, most of us who didn't grow up in like rich families or something would have that feeling, especially if we were growing up in like simple environment. And here we are, this generation, and maybe previous generation already started a little bit, but I think this generation and next generation, we're really healing those wounds, or we're just healing whatever is there, or acknowledging and letting it go. So, it's an outdated belief that I think we can, if you have the same thing, maybe if you're not aware of it, or if you are, um, my belief was, if I'm not worthy if I don't have money, or I'm worthy if I have money, right? crazy. And I forgive myself because it's okay. I didn't know, and felt I feel like I felt shame too that I'm even thinking like that, because like it came from questioning myself. What is my relationship with money, and am I judging people who have more money? Am I envy of them? Um, you know, and yeah, of course I had those thoughts when I met rich people, like, oh, must be so easy, this is so nice, it's so easy, like, oh, you don't. But hey, everyone's path is different, and me having those thoughts, it made me feel guilty that I even have those thoughts. And so it's like I really needed to dig in, like, what is it? And yeah, uh so I'm I'm asking, spirits for the highest good always to help me with those things, especially with letting go of things. Like, I'm sure we all have different tools. This is one of my tools. And I also do like dosing with pendulum, which is energy, frequency, alignment, energy healing, and Reiki and stuff. So I need to use those tools because I'm very aware of the energies, I guess. Very whatever. I just feel them strongly. Um, and so, it was one of the process, like, for serenity too, because financial freedom, it's very important. Uh, it kind of gives us the quality of life that we strive for. And yeah, we all deserve it. Like, it's our birthright to have everything we desire. um, so um, just a gentle reminder, maybe it will help you as well as it helped me to just acknowledge those things. Because I think it's also like, when it comes to letting go of things, sure, there is a time process that our body needs to process as well, like the same with grief and other stuff. Like, but I think when it comes to beliefs like that, the moment we acknowledge it, at the moment we acknowledge what it is, it's actually, it's we can now move on. Like, that's what it is. Nothing else gonna happen afterwards. Like, now you know it. Now, of course, there could be thought processes, and like we get the same thought, just like, maybe if you can become aware of that thought again without judgment, you just let it go, and we slowly clearing and cleaning and healing our mindset through that stuff. Maybe meditation also helps, but yeah, I usually close my eyes and I imagine how I physically let go of the belief, out of, like, to give it out of my body, like you can imagine, as a ball of the light, and release it into the sky, to the moon, to the sun, whatever works, right? Light work, it's always very helpful. Yeah, so, let go, trust the process, surrender. It's not a weakness, it's a beautiful thing. And this month especially, I guess, it's still transformative, and we're really called in to follow our soul calling, like our soul, to be aligned with our soul. I think it feels like it, and that's how the community is preparing for this month. So hopefully we can all support each other in that uh, process. Yes, remember, choose love. Thank you for being here. Share your thoughts, and maybe your tools, so we can connect. I know this is still kind of brand new, but I'm hoping you're listening and it maybe inspires you to heal some more. Sending you much love and have a great rest of the week. See you soon.